Hi, this is Pastor Steve, and I'm here to welcome you to the forum for Sunday, September 20th. And you're going to get a chance to meet the church council in just a moment. You know, when I first came here years ago, I taught the kids of the church this song. You can sing it with me if you like, because it's been kind of a dreary week. Let's sing, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine." Hey, that felt kind of good, didn't it? Well, there's a lot of people that make the light shine in this congregation, and you folks are part of that light, along with a wonderful staff that we have here. And today, as I mentioned, we're going to introduce to you the church council. Now, here are the members of the church council. We have an executive team with the president, Michael Puchalla. The vice president is Tom Jackson. Our secretary is Carlos Dominguez, and our treasurer is Ann Jones. And then the other members on the church council, Ruben Turan, Zeddy Rivera, Sylvia Boynton, Nancy Dick, also Steve Esala. And so in just a few moments, you're going to meet them. And I want to give just a tremendous word of gratitude for the way that they help this church move forward in its mission. So without any further ado, let's meet the church council. Hi, this is Pastor Steve, and I have the privilege of leading this adult forum today, at least by introducing members of our church council here at Emmanuel. They have been instrumental in providing the leadership during these growing times of our ministries. So what I'm hoping you will get a chance to do is to meet all of these folks as they talk not only a little bit about themselves, but also share their observations of the ministries that we are excited about here at Emmanuel Lutheran Church. And I'm going to start by turning it over to Michael Puchalla. Michael has been the council president for a couple of years. So Michael, I'm going to give it to you, and then we'll start moving through the whole ranks of the church council. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you, Pastor Steve, and greetings everyone who's able to join us on this Sunday forum. We really appreciate the opportunity as a council to come together and share a few thoughts with you. I think what we're going to do in this format, talk a little bit about ourselves as an introductory piece and how we've gotten involved with the congregation here at Emmanuel Lutheran Church, and then also some of the ministries and things that we've been involved with, things that excite us about our congregation and our amazing church. So I'll start off by letting you know I have been a member of Emmanuel for 9 years, participating in church council this is my 6th season, started in 2015, so second year as president, and it's been an honor. We live in Naples year-round. I live with my wife, Stacy, 2 daughters, Nicole and Lauren. We've been married for 16 wonderful years, and my girls are 14 and 12, so we're in that teen and preteen stage. So, but they're wonderful, amazing daughters, love them immensely. One thing that you should probably know about me, as far as being involved with the community, I work and run a small nonprofit housing agency, and so we're actively involved in a lot of different programs to help with housing affordability. And in times of crisis like we're in now with the pandemic, we try to work with county government to help get funds out to households that need them. So always looking to be a resource. If you have anybody that you know of that might be in that case, I'm always willing to speak with people. Things that really excite me about Naples, or about Emmanuel rather, and the church and what we're doing. At this time, it's really exciting to see how our pastoral team and the staff have been able to adapt to these times, keep our congregation connected in meaningful ways. Our family typically attends the Alive service when we are worshiping together, excited that we're going to get back to those times in the very near future. And I've had the pleasure of working with the Alive band for over 5 years. And just coming together on August 13th, we had the Make a Joyful Noise live stream event. And that was just a wonderful evening. The pastoral team and the musicians were all there. We brought some energy. It was just a really fun event. And it was a great example, in my opinion, of a way in which the staff has utilized new technology during these times to continue to engage the congregation. And it was a unique opportunity for a coming together of all 4 of our worship communities into one setting. So a little bit about me and what excites me, and I'll turn it back over to Pastor Steve.
Well, what's wonderful is we have one church in multiple communities, so there's a lot to talk about. Let's segue to the vice president of the church council, and that would be Tom Jackson. Hi, Tom.
Hi there. I've been a member of Emmanuel Lutheran Church for 7 years, and I'm serving in my 2nd year on church council. I live full-time in Bonita Springs with my wife, Ellie, of 53 years. We have 2 grown children. Beth and her family live in Cincinnati, and Chris and his family live in Lake Bluff, Illinois, which is near Chicago. And they have blessed us with 4 grandchildren, 2 boys and 2 girls. My career has been varied. Growing up in a family-owned specialty grocery store, I had a successful stint with IBM and then speaking and consulting to the retail grocery industry. For 25 years, I served as the president and CEO of the Ohio Grocers Association. I retired 9 years ago, and I do some consulting with associations in the areas of planning and organizational development. My website is tomjacksonresources.com. One of my greatest joys is using what I have done in the business and the association world here at Emmanuel. The opportunity to work with the pastors and the staff has been a rewarding experience for me. I was so pleased to be able to contribute to Emmanuel's efforts in the strategic planning process last year. And those projects have proved to be very fruitful in so many ways of ministry today. There is so much to be excited about, that all the things that are going on at Emmanuel, the communities, the ministries, it's an exciting place. But at the bottom line for me in all of this is I love being an encourager.
Well, I'm going to say that, Tom, I'm going to pick up on that because you've been an encourager for the members of our staff as well, and we really appreciate that. Now, you're welcome. We're going to now go to the treasurer of the church council and who has all the numbers on the ministry at Emmanuel Lutheran. I'm going to wipe my brow a little bit here right now, but Ann, we're happy to have you. Ann Jones.
Thank you very much, Pastor Steve. I've been a member of Emmanuel for 9 years. I've been on the council since 2015, same as Michael, finishing my 6th year, served as treasurer for all those 6 years. Professionally, I work for a company that makes pianos play by themselves, kind of different. I'm the CFO for that company, so my life is numbers. I know they're boring to some people, but surprisingly, I'm excited by them. One thing you might not know about me is I love to laugh. I love to take things not too seriously. I don't know if it's because my numbers just boggle in my mind all the time, but just because I'm laughing or having a good time doesn't mean I don't take what I'm doing here very seriously. I love this church. I miss being with everybody. I miss being a part of the sanctuary services on Sunday, but the transition has been, I have to say, encouraging because the staff has done a wonderful job. One thing that I love is Takeout Tuesdays. The little snippets you hear and everybody's different perspectives on what they just share with us for a week. And I think it's allowed me to get to know our staff a lot better because, you say hi to some people on Sunday mornings and that's great. But when you listen to them week after week, share something that's important to them or special to them, I feel like I know them a little better. And I'm so thankful for that, and I'm thankful for this congregation.
Well, not only do we have expertise on the church council like Ann with finances, but we also have a lot of heart here. And Ann, thanks for sharing that because you really do have a wonderful heart for the people of this place and the ministry that we share together. So now let's segue to Sylvia Boynton. Sylvia, thanks for being here and part of the council.
Thank you, Pastor Steve. Trying to think about my connection to Emmanuel Lutheran, it's been sort of a truncated one. When I was a small child growing up here in Naples, my parents were among the founding members of Emmanuel Lutheran Church, and they remained faithful members of this church until they died in 2001 and 2002. All 8 of Mom and Dad's kids were confirmed at Emmanuel, and we all attended here regularly until we left home. When I went away to college and graduate school, and then, of course, followed that with marriage and career and having my 2 daughters, I attended Emmanuel when I came home to visit Mom and Dad. And then when I retired from teaching at University of Florida 4 years ago, I came back to Naples and built a small house behind my brother's home. As my brother Doug says, he lets me live in his backyard. And when I came home to Naples, I also came home to Emmanuel. I quickly became involved in the ESL program and with Emmanuel Academies. Having lived and studied in various countries in Latin America and having spent much of my professional career preparing teachers to work in culturally diverse classrooms, those two programs reinforced my commitment to this church and really to the larger mission of the ELCA. It's just not possible for me to name my absolute priorities or favorites here at Emmanuel. At the present time, I love being part of the Emmanuel Park community with its multifaceted outreach into the area's diverse community. This work is exciting and it's very much in line with my understanding of what we're called upon to do as Christians. For my personal growth, I depend on the Sunday Adult Education Forum. Among the many topics I've learned about, I've learned what distinguishes the ELCA from other mainstream Protestant churches, and I've begun to understand the historical and cultural factors that influenced Martin Luther and his theology. Most recently, I've been participating in the ongoing discussion of racial issues that are paramount in our national conversations. In keeping with the other members of the council, I can't wait until we're able to be back together as a congregation, but the steps that we've taken as a congregation and the steps that the staff has taken to keep us involved with each other and engaged with the church are impressive and have really taught me a lot about how we can be functioning Christians even in the face of this crazy pandemic. Thanks.
You know, Sylvia's family was one that I became acquainted with when I came here about 21 years ago, an extraordinary history of the Boynton family at Emmanuel. So I want to thank you for that. And also you can see as we're going through this, really the extraordinary experience that each one of these people brings to the council. So let's see, we're going down the line here. I'm going to go all the way up to Michigan now, because there is Nancy Dick in the upper part of Michigan where it's a little cooler than it is here. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Pastor Steve. Thank you so much. I have been a member of Emmanuel Lutheran Church for over 25 years, transferring from Milwaukee, where I had a career which I continued in Naples in social services and education. And I'm in my third year of council. This is my second time serving on the council. I was on the church council when we called you, Pastor Steve, and also Deacon Jim Cooper. And a lot of other things happened at that time. So those are really good memories. I've lived in Naples year-round for about 20 years, and now actually over 20 years, closer to 25. And what excites me the most right now is ELC's ministry that is showing growth beyond our Mooring Line Drive neighborhood. We are looking at faces of Emmanuel that represent more diversity and change. And what is really exciting to me is a council and staff that have really taken seriously the needs of our people, especially during this COVID crisis. There are so many programs. Sylvia mentioned many, as did Michael. Our education program, the way our pastors and staff are dealing with people in crisis. It's just very impressive and moving. And I'm also so impressed with the way the congregation takes care of each other, even though we are separated physically. I now reside, as Pastor Steve said, in Charlevoix, Michigan. My husband, Jack, who is also a member of Emmanuel, has been on the council. He has been involved in many committees and events like myself. And we have 3 children who all went to Emmanuel, are now adults, and we have 3 grandchildren. So the one thing that you should know about me is that I am really passionate about Jesus's message of unity, forgiveness, loving all of our neighbors, and finding a way to essentially deploy the church during this time through our membership. Thank you.
Nancy, it's so good to see you because you're a representative of so many that are really long distance right now, but still connected to us here at Emmanuel Lutheran. So we love you. We're glad to see you online here today. Now we're going to go all down to Steve Esala. Steve, hi. He is also involved in the endowment here at Emmanuel, but we're glad to have you on the council, Steve.
Thank you, Pastor. I've been a member at Emmanuel for 9 years now. In fact, I've been on the church council. This is my 2nd term. My wife Mary and I live in Naples year round. We have 4 children and we have 1 grandson, and Hank is 6 years old now. I grew up in Southwest Florida. I grew up in North Fort Myers. My father was a Lutheran pastor there, and that's where I went to school and graduated from high school and so forth. I've got 2 brothers that are Lutheran pastors, and I've got another brother that's a Lutheran missionary. He's in Cambodia. My calling has been to work with Christians and their families with Thrivent Financial. In fact, I've been with Thrivent now for 40 years. I'm excited about Emmanuel and how we get active in the community. We work with other organizations. Particularly, I like to work with St. Matthew's House and the Builds at Habitat for Humanity. And we've missed that, because of the pandemic. I need to get out there and swing a hammer again. That's about it. We enjoy what we're doing here and excited about what's going on. Thanks.
Thank you. I want to thank all of you as council members. They not only come to the meetings and help with the ministry, but you're all hands-on people, as you just demonstrated, Steve, in ways that you're involved in the community around us. So I think at this time, I'm probably going to say goodbye to most of you here. Thank you for being with us. We're going to still try to get a hold of a few other council members that were not able to be here today. But I do want to keep Michael Puchalla online for a little further conversation. So thank you, members of Emmanuel Council. We love you and appreciate your being a part of this growing congregation. Hey, Michael, thanks for staying around for a few minutes because we have a few other things we'd like to talk about. One is that you need to know that we are targeting a reopening date here at Emmanuel, and that is set for November 1st. Now, ramping up to that will be a lot of information that you will receive to help with that. But one item in particular is called Let's Gather Together. And on October 25th, which happens to be Reformation Sunday, will be one of those events, followed by the Sunday after, which is November 1st. And these 2 events will be great opportunities for you to get reconnected as we plan on coming back to this congregation in person. All right, that's targeted for November 1st. Michael, let's also talk about a very important letter that went out this past week.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that great information on the targeted reopening. I think everybody's pretty excited about that. And we've been trying to communicate frequently as we can about the needs of the church when we haven't been able to get together. And so with the help of the Finance Committee, we were able to construct a letter, and please be on the lookout for that. We certainly hope that it brings you some very good information on all the things that have been taking place and some of the needs that the church may have with the budget and just how important it is for everybody to continue to give. If you haven't pledged, to pledge. If you have pledged, honor those pledges before the end of the year so we can keep pushing forward as a church.
It's so important that you stay and re-engaged with our website because all the information is just hanging there for you to pick it off and understand about the growing ministry. Michael has also been out at Emmanuel Park and helping with the Sunday morning there. You say something about that too, Michael.
Well, it's been great. One of the opportunities we have had to maybe not necessarily get together face to face, but window to window at least, is out at the drive-in worship service at our site on Oilwell Road. And a lot of the mornings have been just absolutely wonderful. I've had a chance to go out a few times, help getting cars parked, and Pastor Will's really done a very nice job with that service. And in fact, they've also now added Meals of Hope on Wednesdays. And so we've had opportunities on Wednesday afternoons for members of our congregation to go out and do some volunteer work. And then from my understanding, it's been a tremendous turnout of families in need coming out and getting access to food, quality, healthy foods at our site at Emmanuel Park. So again, another example of how we're getting out and fulfilling needs in the community.
Thank you, Michael. And again, don't forget about the worship here at the church. We have worship services with the traditional worship here at Mooring Line Drive, the live service in the Family Life Center, Emmanuel Community Church with Pastor Jose Lebron, and a great Spanish service. And of course, what Michael's talking about out at Emmanuel Park with Pastor Kittinger and all the others that are assisting. So thank you so much for being with us, and a special word of gratitude to Michael Puchalla, president of our church council, and everybody we were able to bring on board today. I certainly want to thank the church council members. Not everyone was able to be here today on video, but for those who were, you got a chance to hear from them about the ministry that we share in this place. I want you to hear this from the book of Philippians, chapter 1. St. Paul says, "I thank my God every time I remember you, constantly praying with joy in every one of my prayers for all of you, because of your sharing in the gospel from the first day until now." We all share in the gospel together, and I want to thank you, and I also want to have a special prayer for our church council. Gracious God, we are so thankful for the way that you create community and raise up the leadership that is needed at certain times along the way. So give your blessing, I pray this day, to all of those who serve on the church council. And as we continue to work together, help this to be a welcome place for all here at Emmanuel Lutheran Church, right in the heart of Naples. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you down the road.